that the child coming through is not lucky. Currently practically doing that will give us a different country that we have in the next 10 years. You may find out that your concept of change in the years to come might just be hope. The fact that God would have done something. It's crab system. You all must die in the same thing. Go check everyone that Jesus told woe to. They were religious people. Happy. Part of what happens in school. All right. For those who are joining us for the first time, I want to specially welcome you to join us in public school. This is made available by the government for those who are for private school. All right, so it's nothing deep we do here. We have been here, several times. We don't do anything deep. We just entertain ourselves. So it means that in the course of entertaining you, there might be things I'll say that will provoke you, and it's just play. All right, and I think particularly today might actually be very provocative. Just play, and that's why I really thank God for the logout button in case you can't handle it anymore. It's very easy to do. Just and play elsewhere. You see. So, and I'm glad that Big Brother is on. Big Brother Nigeria is up. As another form of entertainment, you can just entertain. Just that your kids will need this class. Yeah. So let's start. I've been, based on popular demand, I've been told I need to teach us something very, very important. Some people have said this before. You probably have heard it. And sometimes we hear things, and the idea of hearing them looks good, but the practical is something entirely different. And that's why the life is a game. In fact, somebody put something down that I consider very important. Let me see if I can read it. It's not like I see if I can read. I need to really read it. And I think it was a statement said by Sylvester Stallone. He said, old men start it. Young men fight it. Nobody wins. Everyone in the middle dies. And nobody tells the truth. And they say you are fighting for honor of your country. Can I read it again? Old men start it. Young men fight it.
People are just wishing that this change. This will change until you change your disposition.
Still play, man, and play with.
Opportunity has finally reached your doorstep. Will you collect it or will you scroll past like the last time?
Fight it. Nobody wins. Everyone in the middle dies. Nobody tells the truth. And they say you are fighting for the honor of your country. A statement in quote by Sylvester Stallone. Powerful statement. Recently, I got hold of something. One of the individuals whose life existence, the things he did has been really fascinating me lately, and I've been reading a lot about his work, is the man Albert Einstein. I'm trying to get you somewhere. And so we're just finding out that throughout the lifetime of Albert Einstein was actually on PDM, on FBI CIA watch list. He was on CIA watch list. So meaning that they couldn't stop the knowledge that he had. His mind was extraordinary. They couldn't stop what he knew. But it mattered to the nation who benefits from the game. Hope you know that today we have atomic bomb courtesy Albert Einstein. And that's just simple mathematics. In fact, one of the very interesting things, let's just do some intellectual stuff. One of the very interesting thing I was reading about recently is the black hole. You know about the black hole? Yeah. And it was Albert Einstein that was able to mathematically get that there's anything called black hole without traveling to the astro. In fact, the first man who was able to get the radius of the Earth got it on paper before there was any spaceships to fly around the Earth. He did the calculation on paper, and by the time they finally got the actual calculation, it was just by 1 or 2 meters short. So what I'm trying to show you is that people have walked this Earth who were able to walk in extraordinary brilliance and intelligence. And usually people like that become a threat to nations. And one of the things that really bothers me in respect to all these things and the caliber of people that walk the Earth is that it's not like you can't find some people to be Christians, but it's that they're just going to shut themselves out of it. Christians believe that God is spiritual. They doubt his intelligence. They quietly doubt if he's the author of smartness. In fact, smartness looks like anti-faith. It looks like anti-intelligence, and that in a way has short-circuited many of the things that would have happened on the face of the earth. Because many of you don't know that you can be very intelligent and very spiritual at the same time. See, this is what I'm saying. The destination of intelligence is not TikTok. It's not all this intelligence that comes at what's that word they call it again? There's a word now. They say they are something. Deconstructed. You see, you cannot be truly smart and doubt the fact that there's a creator behind everything. It just doesn't make sense. Bring it on. Bring it up. Tell me which of the theories you want to subscribe to. Is it theory of evolution, Darwin's theory of evolution, or Dalton's modification of it? Which of them do you want to talk about? Talk about the fact that we So doubting is something else. That way, we evolved from apes. Let's start from the unicellular organisms to some multicellular organisms. You are saying that we're once like a or euglena. If truly evolution is true, why is it that the creatures we evolved from still exist? Because the issue is that I'm sorry, in this part of the world, we always try to zone intelligence to anything that will not make you doubt the existence of God. It's not intelligence, it's an imitation of it. It's the fact that you want to sound like those who sound smart. Sounding smart is not smartness. The real product of smartness is what it has produced for you, what it has done in your life. How well you understand, assimilate, analyze, and process information, and then produce tangible results. That's how you measure smartness. And you cannot even measure that if you isolate it away from emotional intelligence. Because at the peak of it, you've got to understand how to relate to people, how to understand people, analyze them, strengths, weaknesses, and then build meaningful relationship without, destroying people's emotions or breaking them to bits. Sometimes we don't get us, but where I'm going actually requires, today I'm going to have to pick your brain a bit, because you cannot understand this, what I want to teach today without, let's bring ourselves down to think differently, the way life works. We understand that God made the heavens and the earth. We understand that there's a creator. It's too fascinating. I just want to give you a concept. Our own observable galaxy, where you have some of your planets and all that, I discovered something recently. In the midst of all this, the closest galaxy to us is called Andromeda. It's going to take us how many million light years to get to Andromeda? You know what a light year means? If we travel at the speed of light, 10 million years. And you look at all these things. The earth, you will fit the earth into the sun 1.5 million times. How many times? 1.5 million times. It takes light traveling about 1.3 point something seconds from the moon to get to you. So every time you see the moon, you are seeing the past. It takes light from the sun about how many minutes? 8 minutes or thereabout to get to you. So when you are seeing the sun, you are seeing what it was that time ago. If the earth was closer to the sun by 1 meter, we all will burn. If it was farther to the sun just a bit more, we all will freeze. The positioning is, so scientists have observed that could the earth be a natural occurring phenomenon? If it's going to be a natural occurring phenomenon, it means it is 1 in 1 septillion probabilities. You know what that means? You have million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, septillion. So we are looking at 1 in infinite, almost infinite probability that the earth itself, because all of our observable galaxies you can see cannot be inhabited. You can't live in Uranus, you can't live in Neptune, you can't live in Venus. There are issues, you're just going to die. Some places you're just going to freeze to death. So is it that the earth in itself is just perfectly aligned for existence? Because it takes the depth of ignorance just to carry on. You sit down with an Android phone you barely paid for fully and said that there's no God. Scientifically, it makes no sense that this space just exists. So what he designed is, the Bible said he made the heavens and then he made the earth. Then, again, I've been an advocate for this. If you have followed my thought process, you see I've said this again and again and again. I'm an advocate for the book of Genesis 1 and Genesis 1, 2, and Genesis 2. I feel that if we really want to understand the concept of what God was in the process of building, I feel the millennium reign of Christ in itself, if you understand about eschatology, you know, Jesus continue from there. Because that was God trying to show us his system, his administration. So it means that there is no government on earth that correctly mirrors the kind of administrative system God was building. No government. Sometimes as I study the body of galaxies, I now understand differently when Simon said, "What is man that you are mindful of him?" It doesn't look like, hold on a minute, what did you deserve to be made in the first place? You understand what I'm saying? But there is the earth, which is the physical place that we live. But there is the world, which is the system of the place that we live. And the system of the place that we live does not reflect the mindset of the one who made the physical place that we live. Because from the moment that man fell, people have now hijacked the system that runs the place. When man was in him, the wisdom he had was from God, that was run the way God wants it to be run. From the moment that man fell, the wisdom that he has is now from the one who made him fall. So it means that the systems of this place is anti the design of the one who made it. And the danger of that is, when people look at the system and cannot match it up with the design, they question the designer. But the designer of the planet is not the designer of the system. You have to understand. The designer of the planet is not the designer of the system. The system describes the how. It describes the rules. So in my house, we have this thing they call pool, snooker. And every once in a while, we just chill and relax with it, myself and the guys. And well, we always get new rules. And I make sure that any rule that will implicate me, will argue it out that it's not a rule. I wanted to read something. I don't know where I put it. Let me see if I can show it. It was a statement in a movie called Godfather. You watched Godfather before, an old movie. If you have a weapon, and I have the same weapon, and we are talking about human rights, we have equal ground to talk about it. If you have a gun, and I have a knife, we are talking about human rights. We don't have leveled grounds. If you have a gun, and I have nothing, you call the shot. Have you played ball while you were growing up? And this is a rich kid. He brought the ball, but he doesn't know how to play. These are the other guys. They will play and dribble him. I know what they say, they enter his colo and do all this, so he will sit on the floor. When the guy gets tired, what does he do? He carries his ball and do what? That's the way world system is. He's showing you at that level what power can do. So do you think people will now grow up and have the ball and say, hey, you know how to, you better use it? They call the shot. Look at it. He said, if you hold a gun and I hold a gun, we can talk about law. If you hold a knife, and I hold a knife, we can talk about rules. If you come empty-handed and I come empty-handed, we can talk about reason. If you have a gun and I have only a knife, the truth lies in your hands. If you have a gun and I have nothing, what you hold is not just a weapon, it is my life. Don't listen. Let me read it again. If you hold a gun and I hold a gun, we can talk about law. Our societal laws, mate. Look at this. If you hold a knife and I hold a knife, we can talk about rules. If you come empty-handed and I come empty-handed, we can talk about reason. But if you have a gun and I have only a knife, then the truth lies in your hands. If you have a gun and I have nothing, what you hold is not just a weapon, it is my life. Do you understand the practical of this? Don't think about it as a person. Think about it as a continent. Then you will be wowed. And see, this is it. We are playing ball. I have the ball. You are the one who knows how to play. I will not watch you to be scoring me now. There's a point you will do it too. I carry my ball and I leave. This is it. Let's look at the continent of Africa. You own the ball, but you can't play. And you also can't carry the ball and walk away. Can I say it again? You own the ball. Diamond, gold, variable lands, cultivatable lands, asphalt. You have everything. Think about it. Coal. You have everything. Rare earth minerals. But things have been so done in a way, you can't still carry your ball and say, let's go. What I don't know today is which part of this you can do. Which part can you undo? Let me tell you this. People who are thinking and plan ahead will always defeat those who have resources but don't plan. They will always defeat them. Let me just break a few things to you. Again, we're just entertaining, just gisting. Okay, just play with it ourselves. So usually every game is designed in such a way that the two people playing are playing in level field, but the sports system doesn't allow that. The world system will never allow you play the game from the point of advantage. And that's one of the reasons why, since America's inception, America has never really won a war. America is not built to win wars. America's military is not designed to win wars. America is not designed to get to scuffle with you and win. They left Afghanistan. They left Libya broken. They left Iraq. They know. And so one of the things they've been able to do, because they understand that we can win wars as a nation. We, for instance, now we can shoot at Iran, and Iran, you dare not shoot back at us. We're going to gloat like giant. You dare not shoot back at us. But we can make sure that Saudi Arabia is on our side. We have military base there. We can make sure that Dubai is on our side. We have UAE is on our side. We have military base there. We have military base in Jordan. We have military base in all those things. And those are all supposed to be your Muslim nations. Instead of shooting us, shoot them. So we have built a system whereby we entice you with money, but kill yourselves. And then we can also come to you and say Nigeria is not to have a military base here. So by the time we do something close to Nigeria, in firing our military base here, we can have collateral damage, but nothing must touch America. And the system for us to build in such a way that we can always get what we want in your society is to sell it to you that the system of government that values human rights and human life and all that is called democracy. Democracy is the greatest illusion sold to man. It's the idea. It's the illusion that you have power to choose every 4 years. Even though you notice every 4 years, you are not the one who is choosing, but you keep choosing. And that's why, go back and check what I'm saying, that there is no nation that is strong enough to rub shoulder with America that is democratic.
Yes.
China is not. It's a communist system. Russia is not. They can't be. North Korea is not. Give me other names now. India is a world power. They are not a democratic nation. But from the moment we As a people, become the good guy. The good guys who get to call the shots and who get to give me that thing. We are the good guys who tell you what's right, tell you what's human rights, tell you what's good, come as a saint. We do other things at the back. We are determining the rules in your own country. We don't know your history, we don't care. We don't know your tradition, we don't care. We don't know your system, we don't care. We don't know what had worked for you, we don't care. Before democracy came, you were a superpower. You have your empire, you have the army, you have all those empires, you have the Benin Empire. They were able to build walls compared to the Great Wall of China. So one of the things we do is that we give you a system. This again, we give you a system that tells you what the system tells you. This system tells you that every 4 years, right, you elect. So 4 years. So it means that if there's somebody here who opposes us, we can wait for you at the point of the election. So we don't no, as a nation we are. You see, listen. You must understand what is called PR. Nations are PR. As a PR is what you sell to the public. It's public relations skills. As a nation, we are a loving nation. You can say president with children and all that. And the day 9/11 was happened, the World Trade Center came down. It was so strategic so that President Bush was with children, interacting with them, and they told him, and then they were able to capture the moment his face changed. And now we don't understand. It's not our business. Whether it's a game or not, we don't even know. But so if we tell you that this is what is good, this is human right, this is what's right, and all that. So this gives us a whole window as a people. So with this window now, we can stay around and then look at people who have the prospects, or make sure that we dilapidate your nation in such a way that your best man will have to come to our country to learn. When they come to our country to learn and get to schools, then we can actually hijack them and train them and prepare them to be loyal to us, and then we give them power, and then they work for us. And that's just one of the opening that this creates. But there's another opening where this creates. So look for the worst amongst you. It's simple. There's even a theory. I don't know much about the theory, but the theory says that anybody who saves money abroad, whose children are schooling abroad, whose treatment is abroad, cannot change the country at home. Because what he has abroad is not just anything, it is his life. You can't go against those who have your life. If the only doctor that can handle your case is in France, then France owns you. How about we don't wait for you to be sick? How about we induce the sickness? It's just entertainment purpose. Just many of you know about guns, you know about cutlasses, you know about bombs, you know about all those things, but you don't know about biological weapons. You don't even know that cancer can be induced through air condition. Cancer can be induced. I'm not saying that blow small. I'm telling you that the world has become that sophisticated that cancer can be induced through the water that you drink. In Russia, is a place where they can even kill a person with an handshake, radioactive substances, and a person will die. Sicknesses. What you were taught in, what did you study? Business admin, booze admin. That's why I can't run business. In your booze admin, is it booze admin? Boss admin? Any school that's calling booze, boss, all run from that school. What they teach you is that there's money in problems. Once you can sell a solution, you make money from the problem. That's for the lowest class. For the highest class, there's money in creating the problem. Don't wait for the problem to exist, create it. So the games that nations play is not the way for your nations to have problems, is to create the problem. Create the problem of insecurity, then come back and solve it. And then you can now make demands. Create the problem of education, then come back and solve it. But what you must understand is that all the strategies, the economies, the inventions of superpowers is to make sure that the game is not played on level field. If you can understand that simple thing, then we're good to go. So make sure that we never play the game as equals. That's the whole concept of the game that nations play. We can study this game at macro level, we can come back and study at micro level. So it's like, I myself and him, we're about to fight. I want to fight him, all right? This is a boxing match. I want to fight him. It looks like I can beat him, even physically, because I trained. It looks like if I give this guy one now, I can deal with this guy. But what I now do again is to make sure that before the fight, somebody should please help me break the hand and break it small. This one to help me break it small. And then the leg. Where's the lead leg? The right leg. Break the right leg small. When it comes here, even though it looks like I can beat him, I still won't take chance. Let him come in disadvantaged. The idea is that you must not play the game at the same level as me, because we can't take chance once the game has started. So those who call the shots are saying that nations can play. And that's the reason why Africa will shout from today till next year that we're not part of the Security Council of the UN. You will not be a part of it because the game is not designed for you. You are the game. You are the ball. The ball can't own itself. Somebody must own it. So if we are a nation of 54 president, and how come we cannot? You don't understand. What built institution is global reset. What's it called now? United Nations is a product of World War II. Same as the IMF. And you can also go and check. Some of you probably need to read. Now, one of the things that United Nations who can say no to America together is the fact that they don't save their money in the IMF, or they don't take loans from the IMF. They don't use the global banking system. You cannot separate. I can't tell you. But you cannot separate bankers. I'm talking about your bankers in Access Bank or GT Bank. Those ones are not bankers. I'm talking about go to Switzerland. Go and understand the Rothschilds. You can't separate those banking at that level from world crimes. All right, so the game is the game. And the game is to make sure that nobody plays at the same field, or the same playing field. And let me tell you this, because one of the biggest mistakes that you make is that the assumption that the country is building a system that will work for you. Right? I was asking somebody a question. Let's talk about it. This public is entertainment, so you can't even hold me responsible for anything. Since it's play and play. Why is it that it doesn't matter how long you live in Saudi Arabia, you can't become a citizen? It doesn't matter how long you live in Dubai, you can't become a citizen. It doesn't matter how long you live in China, you can't become their citizen. In Thailand, you can't become their citizen. In all of these things, you can't become their citizens. You keep applying, keep reapplying for stay and all that. At that point, I realized that if the West gives citizenship, it's never for your good. One of the things you must begin to understand is that if you get the basic rule right, I mean, I know you can get angry at the things I'm saying and then say this and all that. If you get the basic rule right, that nobody is out for your good, then we can start from there. Call it whatever category of visa, special talent visa, global talent visa, and all those visas. You know, when I've never put pressure port before. At some point you've got to open it. The pressure can go, and pressure port cooks faster. What law does it? Is it chance law? You are actually adding temperature and pressure. Both of them add to it to make it fast. So by the time you release the pressure, it becomes a normal pot, right? Or if you put the pressure there, there's a point it gets to that it can explode. Are you aware? There's a point it gets to. What that means is that the point of explosion in terms of national development is revolution. Opening of it is visa. We give you visa so you can believe. Revolution only comes when you are at the end of your rope. Revolution comes when you know that there's nothing you can do anymore. You either fight for your life or not. Visa is the ray of hope that make you never fight for your life. And that's why they began with visa lottery, began with all those things. It's never kindness, it's just a game. As long as you believe, what that does is that it makes all of us individualistic. As long as you believe that all you have to do is to also mature to a point where you too can escape. So you focus on collective development to escape. And everyone of us focus on escaping. And then, so again, you also separate national development away from, you separate it and just make it about individuals. Once you can make it individuals, patriotism dies. In fact, let me tell you this. One of the reasons why I believe that if care is not taken, Nigeria may never be able to break free, right? As I sat down to study what they did about Nigeria, I said, this is a masterpiece, man. This is a master plan. These guys tried. They deserve some award. Because for any nation to be free as a nation, what you need is that you, let me see if I can draw the map of Nigeria. Sorry, please, I can't remember again. Everything drawn. All right, so I think I tried. Before they have me. This one is too much inside like this. So, yeah. Let's just say this. And then you have your River Benue and River Niger. You have the, let's break it down into cardinal points. You have the north, south, east, west. Yeah. So you have the Yoruba speaking. So you have predominantly the north, the west, east and south, whether southwest, southeast, you have Christians. Here you have Muslims. There are people with different ideologies. By the way, none of this religion was an individual religion until that time. You have to understand that. So these are, and if you look at the orientation of these guys, they are people with completely different orientation. The way they think is different. The way they as a people, they are different in their thinking, in their thought process, their culture, their tradition, the way they do things. So by the time you bring these people together and say forcefully, you call it amalgamation. That in 1914. You forcefully bring them together. What then you have is people who don't want to stay together who are together. So the issue is that as long as we can force people who don't want to stay together to be together, you have created a system where each place is individualistic. Each region. When the Yorubas come to power, the North feels you're on your own. When the North comes to power, the Yorubas knows how to smuggle themselves in and play the game. Now, East can say, we are not playing the games and all that, this and all that. We still owe us apology for today in Biafra. So you have people who don't want to stay together, who are together, and the issue is that go and check all the, and one of the things you have in this nation is that you don't have a central national figure of who to call the father of the nation. But if you go to each region, you can talk about fathers of each region. Yeah, you can talk about Tafawa Balewa, you can talk about Aminu Kano, you can talk about Bello. If you come to, you can talk about Awolowo, you can talk about Wegen, Akintola, and a few of them. You come to the, you can talk about Zik. You just be amazed. Each region seems to have a figure that puts the region first. One thing that makes it impossible to have a collective national figure, somebody who is nationalistic enough to say, this is my home, is that same thing that will keep this kind of nation bound as a slave for life. The same reason why every election period, tribalism will always win. It was designed to win. Religion will always take the best of it. It was designed to do that. And you must understand that when people submit religious cards at around the aim of power, it was not designed, it is not anything about your eternity. It is everything about subjugating you. And that's why, if you ask me, I believe it is neither a Christian nor a Muslim that can change Nigeria. It is a nationalistic figure. I really don't buy into the idea of we need a Christian or we need a Muslim. I really think that if you look at what's going on in Burkina Faso, the guy who is there is a Muslim. See, that's the thing. It's your construct. It's your mind. It's something has been done to it. It's difficult for that mind to think straight without religious filters or sentiments. It's just because it's our team. The president is like Trump will tell you is a Christian president. And America, so they sell that idea to you as long as it calls on our God. But that can be PR. Anybody can play that game. And somebody can say that, okay, we two are coming in as Muslim and all that. But my wife is a pastor. You know how you can do a short course in Harvard just to say that you have something from Harvard. Somebody too can become a pastor seller. Just play and play. Play. Just play and play. Just play and play. You understand what I'm saying? So by design, so the issue now is that some people don't understand what designs are. See, don't look at design like your clothes. Look at design as in coding. So you are coding, you code. Okay. So when you are coding, what are you doing? You're programming something. And what do you use to program that thing? Syntax, numbers, alphabets. You put them together after certain order to do certain things. Once you are done programming it, and you began by putting those things together, you know, whether it's the HTML, something blah, 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 all those people, I don't know what people do. You do all those things together. You are telling him this is how it should function. You can go to bed. It will function the way you have designed. This is why your colonial masters have gone to bed. Once you are done, the biggest work is in writing the code. Once you are done writing the code, man, you don't have to wake up every morning and say, Facebook like, is this working? The code was designed for it to work. The way you think is part of the code. The way you respond is part of the code. Your religious filters is part of the code. The way you pursue the kind of things that your kind pursue is part of the code. The reason why you have a degree and can't enter stand-up organization is because you've been programmed. What I'm saying is that you can have a degree that is qualified, you're qualified enough to go to a place to get a job, and you will never step there all your days because you have concluded it's not for my kind. So codes are deliberate orchestrations designed to program functionality of a thing. And once it begins to function, what you can do with the code, once you're done, is that you can upgrade. You begin to put some things in and then begin to upgrade and begin to function like this. So you must understand, and that's why the games have been designed. In respect to this game, the system that is employed to prepare you for the game is your orientation, right? I talk about your worldview. Let me explain what that means. Orientation is that place where you can feel like you succeeded. But what we have to do is to reprogram what failure and success is to you. Yeah, that's orientation. It is only in the world of orientation that you can feel like you succeeded. Based on the way you've been programmed. There was a time in my class in secondary school. The margin between the first, second, third is point, always point. So sometimes you can write a subject, and of course, 5 people had an A. And this one had 76A, this one had 5A, this one had 80A. The one with 76A is crying. I said, but I tried now. The one with 62B is happy. They are paying the same school fees. One has concluded, this is the farthest my brain can produce. The other one feels I can do more. It's based on their worldview. They will all grow up in life and carry that same attitude. Then you can look at it and say it's called contentment. Contentment with godliness is great gain, but there's ungodly contentment. Ungodly contentment is what you have when the enemy is rightly stealing from you and you're okay. Do you understand what I'm saying? It looks like I'm boring you. Have you heard such a thing as Nigeria is that place where people can turn anything to a joke? Yes. One of the things that should have caused outrage, they will make comedy out of it. So sometimes the problem with you is that you think that describes Nigeria's resilience. Who is paying who to make a joke out of it? Is it possible for anybody to pay someone to make a joke out of it? So what I down? As a president, I can even pay somebody to be mimicking me. So anything I'm doing can be cruise. Talk to me now. Who pays who? Recently, I didn't want to talk about that because it's published, so I can talk a bit about that. I saw a platform, Spearhead, David Udane. They were analyzing one of the guys that came for this young boy's wedding. And I went to those guys' portfolio and saw the department that they are the US Army. And you think, you in your colonized mind, we say, I've attracted you. But the Oyinbo came for you. When you understand the game, you understand algorithm is not algorithm. There's a reason why foolishness thrives. It is in the interest of those behind the game that what will not let people think straight will be more promoted. There's a young boy, I think he's in the notes, whose content, I think I must have blocked the page or something. This guy can just stand and look at the most dirty gutter and just dive inside. That's algorithm. There's this guy also, something new tick, something like that. The guy wears some funny clothes like that, like rags, and then yeah, doesn't do anything. Just wear some funny clothes. And you see the guy? The guy will have millions of views. I'm talking about sometimes something as much as 50 million. Yes. Listen, have you ever felt algorithm is against you? It was not designed to be for you. Whatever it is that opens the eyes of people that take them out of the matrix, that takes them out of the game, the system fights. And that's the reason why the system insists in making sure that they control the media. Control of the media is not just give you access to communicate. The media is not intended for you to communicate and all that. It was intended for you to be informed. And the moment you are going against the greed or trying to inform people what they don't want them to know, then the media is designed to give you the impression that you have a problem. Then people will think that God has left you. But because you are the one who is actually doing things that will liberate the people. That's what I'm saying here. So it means that the one who is going to play the game, you will have to be funny to remain organic. I wish I can tell you that everything is for you. But the system wasn't built like that. And that's the reason why, if people will see the light of the day at all, there's got to be independent learning platforms. Because when I talk about orientation, a slave can be more happy than the one who is free. Because the slave was giving the impression that he's better. And never forget this. Slavery is addictive.